The next big project after Star Wars Episode 9 by Disney and Lucasfilm is of course the fourth Star Wars trilogy by the creators of Game of Thrones. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, of course, this is the big project that I personally am really looking forward to after Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams. Way over the Rian Johnson trilogy, I would have to say for sure, for a majority of Star Wars fans out there. A lot of people are very curious as to exactly what these new set of Star Wars films will really be all about. And a lot of people are just really hoping it out to be the old Republic era, as that would officially make a canon falling under everything Disney and Lucasfilm. So looking at everything here that we have been hearing about the fourth trilogy these past couple of weeks or so, on and off, we do know that no work has really started on the script. However, today we do have an exciting update for the new Star Wars trilogy, is that the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, will begin writing the script as early as February of 2019, next year. That's just 3 months away. We got to get through November, December, and January, and then we are in February, and that is when they will begin working on the new Star Wars trilogy. Now, this could very well give us a little hint as to exactly what they will be doing with this movie. Now, I find it very odd that they would begin working on these new set of Star Wars films just after Episode 9 is all scheduled to end filming for, of course, that project. So Episode 9 is set to end principal photography in February of 2019, and then you have the creators of Game of Thrones hopping on this new trilogy in February of 2019 as well. So it seems like they're shifting things around in a rather, I guess you could say, organized manner, where the filming ends for Episode 9, and the writing begins for a new Star Wars trilogy. Of course, they're going to start writing the whole entire trilogy, as we have gone over before in the past, that the main plan here is to map everything out from the very start. There's going to be no inconsistencies, no changes or different directions with each and every director that will be involved with these new Star Wars films. But one thing is for certain, is that both David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are going to be the writers of all three movies. However, multiple directors will be chosen for each and every movie. But the good news is that everything will be mapped out. So it's really great to know that, they will begin writing this project in February of 2019, just after Episode 9 wraps filming. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the EW article today. It was a very interesting read for sure. We do know that Game of Thrones Season 8 is coming up, but it also has some people worried here about Game of Thrones if you aren't a fan of Kathleen Kennedy or Rian Johnson. Well, this is what it says in the latest EW article. Benioff and Weiss' next gig is writing a new Star Wars film, and they've received some final season secrecy tips from The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson and producer Kathleen Kennedy. They say, "They've given us a lot of hints about how to lock things down, things we never would have thought of or didn't know were possible," Weiss says. So, with that being said, some people that love Game of Thrones are a little concerned now, because Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy actually gave some advice to the creators of Game of Thrones and what they will be, working on with Star Wars as a whole. So, looking past all of this, guys, I gotta say, I'm really hoping that this new trilogy is all going to be based within the Old Republic era. What's great about the Old Republic is it's primarily all about Jedi and Sith and all these different, facts about these sides. I think that if you guys have played the video game out there, I don't know if you have, but if you do play the video game, there are amazing cutscenes in there that just match directly up with how Game of Thrones is shown on HBO. So the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, they really, I think, are pretty much a fit for an Old Republic Star Wars movie. It just seems like something that they were meant to do. And if that is the case, I think that a lot of fans around the world really are in for a treat, because this is an era that not only a lot of Star Wars fans are very unfamiliar with, but it's a great era that would be introduced to not only new fans, but also to a lot of casual fans around the world. Again, a lot of casual fans have no idea what the Old Republic is. Some of them out there may kind of have heard about it, but don't really know about the specifics. So I think that this would be a great opportunity as a way of introducing the Old Republic era to a lot of new and casual Star Wars fans. Now, of course, you know, there's a lot of characters that are involved with that era that could very well be portrayed on the big screen, you know, like Darth Revan or Darth Malak, all these beloved characters during that era. I really do want to see a lot of them in live action form, and we could very well be seeing this in 2021, because that's apparently the slated release, December of 2021, for this new Star Wars trilogy, and that's really great. So, guys, I would really love to hear your input about everything Star Wars, the future of this franchise, this new trilogy. How do you feel about Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy lending some advice over to David Benioff and D.B. Weiss about Game of Thrones? And will that reflect, or will that actually show in the final season of Game of Thrones? We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.